I think that the story of The Last of Us needs a part 3. And in fact, I think that Naughty Dog is already working on it. I mean, there have been some mentions in interviews and some posts in social media that seem to hint to that, although, of course, nothing is confirmed. So I thought it would be fun to tell you what I think should happen in the story of The Last of Us. So, spoilers for the entirety of the games and the shows and everything. Okay, so the Last of Us is the story of Ellie, right? Of her character arc, going from this sweet little child who likes comics and science fiction to this extremely violent person who only cares about the persons that she loves and she doesn't see value on anyone else. To what, right? Like, what's gonna happen to Ellie after this? I think that the part 3 should be her redemption, and I think it's pretty obvious what should be, in broad strokes, the story of the game. Ellie needs to find a child and protect that child and take it somewhere. That should be it. In a way, Ellie should become Joel in a way. And so the thing is, how do we find a reason for Ellie to protect a child and take that protect that child in a kind of journey? How do we? That's the thing. How do we argue that in the story that we have now? Okay, so first let me tell you what I think this story should happen, because I don't think that Ellie should be escorting this child through the entire United States. I think it should be happening mostly in Las Vegas. Let me tell you why. Um, in the Last of Us 2, you can read Ellie's diary, and at some point she passes near Las Vegas, and apparently, you know how there are many cities in The Last of Us that have these huge walls to protect them from the infected. Well, apparently in Las Vegas, they build the walls to keep all the infected in. And Ellie mentions that she could hear them from the outside. And she's like, how many infected people are there that I can hear them all the way over here to the other side of the walls? Now imagine, what if you were trapped inside? What if you were trapped in Las Vegas and it's just like swarming with zombies everywhere? It would be pretty freaking cool. Okay, so now we need a reason for Ellie, for a child to be there, and for Ellie to want to take that child out of Las Vegas. And I think the motivation should be, of course, finding a cure to the infection. And this is where Abby comes in. Because last time we saw Abby, she was on her way to rejoin with the Fireflies after being brutally enslaved for a couple of months. So, anyway, when Abby meets with the Fireflies, she will tell them that Ellie is alive, that the immune girl is alive, and that Ellie almost killed her. And so the Fireflies are going to say, well, we still need to take her. We still need to do experiments on her to figure out why she is immune. Maybe you could imagine that that could be the conflict, right? That, I don't know, like the Fireflies are trying to capture Ellie. But I don't think that that would be a very compelling narrative, personally. I don't know, maybe they can pull it out. Sorry, maybe they can pull it off. But I think it would be way more interesting if Ellie gave herself up to the Fireflies voluntarily, and it didn't work. Okay, so Ellie has mentioned a few times that maybe she should have died to help create a cure, that maybe that would give purpose to her life. And so maybe Ellie meets up with the Fireflies, and maybe they are more prepared than last time. Maybe they have managed to find experts in medicine and mycology, and they have even managed to repair very old hospital equipment like MRI machines or stuff like that. And they are able to use all of this to figure out why Ellie is immune without killing her. And they realize that it doesn't work anymore, that they cannot reproduce it. I don't know, maybe it could be that MacPat was right and Ellie was infected with another strand of cordyceps, and that prevents him from being infected by the zombie strand of cordyceps. Who knows? But the thing is that maybe you could argue that they need a patient that has very recently developed this immunity. That if they find that, then they could reproduce it. And now finally we have a reason for Ellie to find a child and protect this child through Las Vegas. Now, why is that child in Las Vegas? How do they find out? How do they get in? I'm not sure. Actually, maybe they could have an helicopter, and maybe that this is like the one working helicopter in the known world. They don't know anyone else in the world that has a working helicopter. As to how, so maybe that's how they could get in, and maybe that could be like the Deus Ex Machina, like the eagles in Lord of the Rings. I don't know. But why would a child be in Las Vegas? I don't know. Maybe there's a group that has managed to survive in Las Vegas all this time. Come to think of it, if they have been surviving in Las Vegas all this time, maybe it's because they are immune. Maybe by sheer chance there were a few people in Las Vegas who got immune, and they started this community trying to survive among the zombies somehow. I don't know. You can imagine like this tribe moving from casino to casino in the tunnels, kind of like what the Scars did in The Last of Us 2. You know how they had all those secret passages in between the skyscrapers, like that, but more, right? And that maybe Ellie, they sent Ellie to Las Vegas to negotiate with this tribe because they suspect that if the people in this tribe give them a child of them that is immune, maybe they can figure out a cure that works for everyone. And now it makes sense that Ellie is the one that to go to Las Vegas because since she is immune, she would be able to get there while other people would be at way higher risk because of the spores and stuff like that. Okay, it's coming together. It's coming together. And then I don't know, shit happens. Maybe actually just finding the tribe of survivors in Las Vegas would be already extremely difficult. And then I don't know, finding the child and then getting it out. I don't know. At this point, all the details can be refined later. And maybe Abby comes along for some reason. Abby and her friend. They could come along for some reason, even though it's really dangerous. Who knows? It will be, of course, an extremely tense situation, right? Because like Ellie tried to kill Abby and kill her friends, and then Abby also killed one of Ellie's friends and ate one of her fingers, so she cannot play guitar anymore. So yeah, it would be a very tense situation. But that's the point, right? Trying to see them working together despite everything that has happened. And of course, like, well, okay, so that would be like the plot, the facts, but emotionally, psychologically, I think that the whole point of the game should be Ellie learning to love. But here's the thing, Ellie has this thing, like, she was born in a very violent world. Like, it's a world where people can go around killing each other without consequence. The only consequence is what your loved ones will do to protect you or to avenge you. There's no police, there's no justice system, right? Like, the only way to ensure the safety of your loved ones is with violence and vengeance, so that other people know not to fuck with you. So that's why Ellie is so violent, and this is why she doesn't value the lives of anyone she doesn't love. And yet, she's working to find this cure that would save the lives of everyone, not just the people she loves. Because, like, logically, she knows that's the right thing to do. But maybe that's the thing. Maybe Ellie needs to be able to have this love that is not personal. This love for people in general, right? Because the writers of The Last of Us have said many times that this is a story about love and how love can sometimes be a bad thing, right? Because all the stuff, all the horrible things that Ellie does is because of love for Joel, the only man she would ever love, right? Because she's gay. And so maybe Ellie needs to meet this other side of love. This love that is not personal. This love that you love people just because they are people. You love everyone, and everyone, you give your love freely. Love is a gift that is given freely without expecting anything back. Actually, you could actually do an analysis of this from the you know how in ancient Greek they have a ton of different kinds of love, right? Uh, so Ellie, maybe she knows Eros in her girlfriend in the previous game. I forgot her name. She knows Eros. She knows Ludus. She knows many kinds of love, but she doesn't know agape. Agape is like this perfect kind of love. In the Bible, the love of God is described as agape. So that's the kind of love that Ellie needs to know, right? Agape, this love for humanity as a whole. And maybe this child could teach her. Maybe this is a child that has is just full of compassion. Maybe okay, this is gonna sound very funny. Maybe this kid could be like Steven Universe, like this kind of kid who's just compassionate and kind to everyone, even to people that you're like, you dumb idiot, don't you don't need to be kind to this person, just fucking run or something like that. Um, but over the course of the game, Ellie learns that maybe this kid had a point, right? And so eventually she ends up learning how to love, how to really love the other side of love, the good kind, the good side of love. And I don't know. I think the question is, does Ellie die? I think she shouldn't die. I think she should learn her lesson and come out of this changed, and then live with that change, live with the consequences of her actions. Because what's the point of a character to go through a huge change if they die immediately afterwards, right? I want the character to live with this change and see what happens. And so that would be really interesting, I think, if Ellie survives this whole thing. I guess the child also survives, and maybe they do start working towards a cure. I think it's not necessarily part of the story that we see the cure being finished, because this is a huge world. Like this is like a the Leaf of Nigel. That's a story of Tolkien, and so basically the point is that when you create a story with a good story with a good world, that world becomes endless, becomes infinite. You are never going to be able to explore the totality of it. So maybe it's fine if we don't see the cure being made and what happens when they finally make the cure. It's just enough to know that they will be able to do that thanks to the efforts and the sacrifices of the characters of this game. Um, and so, yeah, I think that's what should happen in The Last of Us Part 3. And also, I should mention that the fact that it's in Las Vegas, it works really well. It has been established in the lore. But also, since all of these casinos are built around different themes and they are so different, it would give the game so many options. Like every time you go to a casino, it would be a completely different mood, a completely different environment, a completely different. So in terms of gameplay, it would be freaking cool, or pretty fucking cool. Yeah. It's I wanted to know, like, YouTube doesn't let you swear in the first some minutes of the video, but I think I have passed that mark. I think. Um, so yeah, I think that's what I think, and I need to come up with a way to finish these quick thoughts videos. I never know how to end them.